2017 Scion FRS, packing a snail. Well, kind of a snail. Hey, real quick before we start this video, a lot of you guys have been asking for team shirts. Finally, Autohaus has t-shirts, so it would really help out a lot if you supported the shop, got some merch, some shirts, stickers, support the media work, support me and my dog. Check out that merch store so I don't starve you guys. All right, so people must be trying to beat summertime or beat the cold weather to get the track days out, because I've done nothing but track prep, major, minor services to these chassis this week. So figure let's go over one that's pretty special. So yeah, again, 2017 Scion FRS, 17 and up. They made a lot of improvements. I'm not gonna list every single one, but you know, the short answer is the later model, you get one of these, typically the better. They worked out all the bugs. Really cool. Jackson Racing full supercharger. We'll check out underneath in a bit, but this thing's actually got 3 or 4 heat exchangers behind this bumper. I know extra with this kit, there's a dedicated oil supply, I believe, for the Rotrek supercharger unit itself, plus the inline filter. Looks like for this kit they either deleted or had to modify the AC compressor bracket. Yeah, got some R888s. Some big stop techs in the front. This car also has Annex Club Spec Pro. This is the same car we did the bump stop height video on, so I'll make sure to link that in the description below. Solid video to watch, so check it out. Yeah, always kind of intriguing when you take the fender liners out. It's like a Pro FD car because you can see inside the wheel well. We'll get a sneak peek at that Annex suspension right there. Yeah, not sure what lip this is, but it certainly looks good. Yep, I see this owner is a man of culture as well. Got the drift spec thrash seat in here with the helmet halo. This thing's pretty cool. And I think the IRP shifter. But otherwise, yeah, not that many frills inside the cabin. Alright, so let's go down the list. What did we do to this? Vehicle inspection and a comprehensive bolt check. We did the coolant service, trans and rear diff fluid service, oil and filter change, and then brake and clutch fluid flush. So yeah, let's go take a walk around, check out the work we did. Also in tandem matching the supercharger, we got a Jackson Racing oil cooler. You can see 2 sandwich plate adapters, Amsoil oil filter on there. My lubricant of choice has been 530 Signature Series. I know 020 is the factory fill, but from like dozens and dozens and dozens of these customer cars that I've worked on, I keep hearing, even for like a street car, the newer models with the oil temp gauge, guys are seeing upwards of 270 Fahrenheit oil temp, which is terrible. Without installing an aftermarket oil cooler, actually going a thicker viscosity has basically been a very good band-aid to that problem. I know people talk about you can have like cam control problems and other issues running above the manufacturer specified viscosity, but I mean, in the dozens and dozens of that I've serviced, that has not been the case. So if I know the owner is going to do some sort of spirited driving, whether it's toge, canyon driving, etc., 530. Back in my Subaru days, I know when the body style changed, the 2014 Forester, I know we had viscosity problems. If you ran higher viscosity than 020, I believe the cam control system would act up, but that has not been the case with these cars. So especially this being forced induction, this 530 should offer the additional protection that it needs. Yep, you guys probably already noted. The brake and the clutch fluid, sparkling clean. Throughout my career, for some reason, the clutch hydraulic system always gets neglected. You'll see some fancy brake fluid and then this will look like a swamp inside. So yeah, the clutch hydraulic system, pretty short. You can see the slave sits right on top of the trans. So full fluid exchange. We use Multool RBF 600 for both of these fluids. Another pro tip, an Autohaus specialty for the brake fluid service. Got my Motive pressure bleeder. I found that actually pressure bleeding these cars, as opposed to, you know, vacuum bleeding, 2-man bleeding, pressure bleeding has by far been the most effective on getting a lot of the garbage out of the system, as well as getting as much air as possible out of the system. And so how this works, this unique adapter goes right on top of the brake master cylinder, and what you're doing is and you're basically putting 15 psi on the brake system and forcing the brake fluid out of the system. And so basically, to sum it up, to get the best brake pedal feel for these cars, I found that pressure bleeding has been the most effective. If you bring your car here, these are gonna be pressure bled no matter what. Yeah, why settle for second best, right? Cool, so I think that's about it for the top side. So why don't we take a look underneath, see what other work we did, and if we find any other cool stuff underneath the car. Cool, here we are underneath. Let's check it out. Dexter, let's check it out. Cool, got some fancy headers under here. And then, like I was saying earlier, how many heat exchangers do we have under here? So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. So intercooler, I believe this is the cooler for the supercharger oil feed, AC condenser, and then radiator. I'm not sure if this is the Jackson radiator that's also the oil cooler and regular radiator combined. I believe it is. Yeah, I can see those oil sandwich plate lines going to there. So yeah, Jackson has a oil cooler types. One of them is this water to air, and then the other one is that air to air intercooler, or I should say oil cooler. Yeah, 4 heat exchangers on the front of this guy. Again, got our Annex Club Spec Pro. Yeah, stainless line kit all around. Those pretty Stop Tech brakes. Solid trans mounts. I don't know how I feel about those. I would honestly recommend against it, just because, you know, solid mounted anything rattles itself to death, but to each his own. Again, as a comprehensive bolt check, we'll tighten every bolt to spec, and we'll leave paint marks. So the next time you crawl under the car, you can just, instead of having to put a wrench on every single bolt, you can see like, this guy back off or not? Nope, looks good. So all good there. Same thing, paint marks on the bell housing bolts. I've definitely had bell housing bolts back off on me before. Our fill and our drain plug for our trans service. Multool 300. You guys who own this chassis probably know this transmission is definitely not the best nor the strongest. And so through many track days, the 8.6 Drive Challenge Time Attack series that we have locally, talking to many owners, Neil at the Racers Line, who works on 1 million of these, the consensus has been Multool 300 has been the best for these transmissions as far as wear protection and then shift quality. One-piece aluminum drive shaft, looks like from the drive shaft shop, specializing the impossible. Rear diff with the factory LSD, we're just running Amsoil Severe Gear 7590. No real need for anything special unless it's like heavy drift abuse or you have an aftermarket LSD that requires a friction modifier. Again, you can see the bolt checks. Make sure these jam nuts don't back off or any of the alignment adjustments. We'll even do it to the aftermarket arms as well. Same thing, you absolutely do not want your brake banjo to come loose. Yeah, I believe that about wraps it up for the service work on this 17 Scion FRS. Sorry, I stumbled because there's like 5 different names for this car, right? So yeah, a lot of little service items, but all of it absolutely necessary. Don't skimp out on your service, looking over your car and then running top tier fluids, especially if you're gonna track your car often like this owner. If you're interested in service work, you can check out the website link below, cmautohaus.com. Check out the services page for pricing. Questions, comments, you guys want more tips, leave a comment in the description below. Where is my hand? Comment in the description below. Appreciate the support, the CM Autohaus in Fremont, California. Catch you guys next time.